Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to be doing what if Naruto had a custom DoJutsu, the movie. Now if you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe. We are so close to getting 1,000 subscribers and it's always been my childhood dream to be a YouTuber, so even if you're not going to watch my channel, it means the world to me if you just subscribe. But I don't want to waste your guys' time too much. Let's just get right into this video. Okay, so first I guess I should explain what this custom DoJutsu is gonna be. So, basically, what's gonna happen is Naruto is gonna be born with this a custom DoJutsu, as suggested by the title, that is OP. Literally, like, probably one of the strongest DoJutsus in the entire series, right? Now, what is it gonna look like? Well, to imagine what it's gonna look like, basically, it's gonna be a blue DoJutsu. So, think of like the blue DoJutsus, like not exactly Tenseigan, but something like that with the color scheme. And inside of it is going to be a pattern / design that kind of looks like a combination between Itachi's Mangekyo and Obito's Mangekyo. So if you take something in between those, that's kind of like what Naruto's eyes look like, but blue. Now, you guys might be like, so what is this? What is this this crazy DoJutsu that looks like the Jogan with the Mangekyo Sharingan? Well, it isn't the Mangekyo Sharingan plus Jogan. It's something completely different. As suggested by the title, it's a custom DoJutsu, and its powers will be revealed within the what if. So enjoy, guys. Basically, we start off this story when Naruto is at the age of 4. Now, this will be approximately when Naruto was just walking around, once again, since his parents are dead, being bullied by a bunch of villagers. And he would just have been walking around the forest, finally, peacefully for once, because this is the only place that nobody gets to, attack him, as he'd be slowly making his way through the snow, as he would hear some noises, being like, what's this? As he'd look around to see Hinata getting beat up by a bunch of kids. Naruto would recognize Hinata and be like, what? Hey, you guys, stop doing that! And the bullies would just look up and be like, and who are you to say that? As the other kid would say, I think that's the Ninetales brat. As they would start laughing and being like, kid, you better go away or else this isn't gonna end well for you. As Naruto picks up a snowball and throws it at one of the bullies. As he's like, why you? As he rushes in, as Naruto doesn't stand a chance, as he starts getting beaten up. And Hinata rushes in, trying to protect Naruto. But the bullies, once again, manage to brush her aside and start beating up Naruto again. As they're like, that is for all of the things you did to this village, you Ninetales demon. As they just keep beating him up and harder and harder. As Naruto just struggles to get out, as he's trying to punch them, kick them, anything, just trying to get out of their grip. So he says, stop! And suddenly, his eyes turn a bright blue with, a different shade of blue, because Naruto's eyes are already blue normally, with the pattern within them, as Naruto sends out a explosion of chakra that literally blasts away all of the bullies. As he's like, stop, let me go. And Naruto is just saying this. So the bullies are just like, what was that? As they look at Naruto, and Naruto says, where do you think you're going? As the bullies start stepping back and then stop. It's like, well, no matter, we're not scared of you. As Naruto's like, yeah, we'll see about that. And they just run in at Naruto, as Naruto, in this form, with his DoJutsu activated, it's almost like, obviously not exactly, but it's actually really similar to Ultra Instinct, where Naruto is in the state, where he's like extremely overpowered and a really like calm sort of state of mind where he can't, he's just in this calm and analytic state of mind. Anyways, sorry. The bully just try to come in at him, trying to, beat him up. But Naruto, literally, in like the blink of an eye, literally just almost at lightning speed, just goes to each of them. Like in the blink of an eye, literally just knocking all of them out in nearly one move. And then his eyes revert to normal, and he falls to the ground, unconscious. So Hinata is, once again, thankful and develops a crush on Naruto, just like in the original for this, and this time admires him even more than in the original because he was able to display such crazy power and actually beat the bullies. So anyways, Naruto gets sent to the hospital, and Hinata goes home. Sorry guys, I have to keep pausing the recording for reasons, but anyways, back to the story. After this, Naruto wakes up and he's like, yo, what was that power? Because, he just went God mode there. He's like, I gotta learn what that was. So because of that, for the next 4 years until he goes to the academy, he ends up training. And by training, I mean he trains a lot. He is always just training, doing his push-ups, doing some chakra control stuff, always just trying to get better, trying to unlock the powers of that DoJutsu. And eventually, before the time when, the academy starts, he actually manages to learn how to use his DoJutsu, which means he can activate it at will. Anyways, this is when we skip to Naruto's first day at the academy. Now, on this day, Naruto would wake up first thing and be like, let's go, I'm finally going to the academy. He's just so hyped, and he just runs straight to the academy. And he arrives really early. As he sits down and he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna make new friends, this is gonna be so cool, I'm gonna learn, I'm gonna get stronger. And he's just in this super joyous state until, he just waits. Everyone else slowly comes into the room. And at first, Naruto didn't quite notice it, and he started thinking it was just a coincidence, didn't think much of it. But by the time everyone ended up coming into the room, it became apparent. Nobody wanted to sit next to him. Everyone was sitting at least a couple meters away from him and shooting weird looks at him, just saying yo, this guy, that's the nine-tailed rat, you heard him? He's right there. They're just everybody's just whispering behind his back, being like, yeah, did you hear about that? That's the nine-tailed rat. Just talking and being away from him. The closest person to him was Hinata. But Iruka was just never mind. And he said, okay, let's start off with a quick little thing. Since this is your first day at the academy and I don't really know all of your levels, I'm gonna put you through a bit of a exam, let's say. And everyone's like, groaning me, what, an exam, come on. And Iroka's like, no, you're not getting graded or anything, it's just to see what level you're at. Trust me, it'll be fun. As everyone's like, yeah, sure, I guess. As first, they start with the written exam. Naruto actually does really well in the written exam because he has been training his mind a little bit as well, although he's definitely not at the top of the class either. Now, although this might not have mattered so much, the next couple of events will. And this is when they move on to the Shuriken training. And they get 10 Shurikens, as everybody has to make as many of them as they can. Until Naruto goes, Sasuke was at first place, having hit 9 of the 10 targets. But Naruto's like, amateur, as he took out his shurikens and kunai and turned on his DoJutsu, as suddenly he saw everything differently. Like my man with the DoJutsu, he will not miss a shot. I am telling you, he is like the most. With the DoJutsu on, Naruto can make the most precise and calculated and perfect movements in the world. You know what I mean? So Naruto turns on the DoJutsu, and it's almost like numbers are popping up in his head and the calculations are being made for him, as all he has to do is initiate the action. So he takes out the kunai and effortlessly throws it at the target with perfect form, landing a perfect bullseye. Again and again and again and again and again and again. Every time. Naruto just keeps doing this all the way until he literally gets 10 out of 10 on the kunai and shuriken throwing exam, which kind of annoys Sasuke and makes him be like, yo, this kid's beating me? That's not okay. That shouldn't be possible. I'm the best, because he has that superiority complex and everything. And so basically he's just like, you know what, doesn't matter, I'll prove my strength to him in the next game, also known as the Sparring. Now, Naruto and Sasuke are put up against each other, with Sasuke being like, perfect. Now, I'll finally show to Naruto that I am stronger. And Naruto's just like, finally, a worthy opponent. As they both step on, and the match begins, as they both run into each other. And they open with a bunch of taijutsu moves, with Sasuke attacking first, going for a punch, uppercut, jab, just doing a bunch of punches and then a kick. But Naruto is not bad at taijutsu either, as he blocks the attacks and starts counterattacking. And they go at this for 30 seconds until it starts to become more and more clear that Sasuke is slowly just gaining the upper hand, and at this point, gaining the advantage on Naruto. Now, Naruto realizing this is like, well, this is slightly inconvenient, I guess, but doesn't really matter too much, as Sasuke, seeing that Naruto just won't give up, steps back as he sighs and is like, well, you didn't give up. You asked for this, as he starts weaving hand signs and says, Fireball Jutsu, and throws the fireball straight at Naruto. This is when, the fireball becomes huge, as it literally completely, what seems like covers Naruto and everywhere in the nearby area, just seemingly killing Naruto, as or at least injuring him to a very high degree. Now, this is when Sasuke smirks, as he's like, that should teach him a lesson. A fireball, point blank range, like that? Yeah. He's not coming back from that one. As the smoke clears, and there's nothing there. Naruto is gone. Sasuke's first thought was confusion, and the second thought was, he must just have been incinerated completely. What have I done? I think I took it a bit too far. As, he's just thinking this in his head for like a millisecond before Naruto says, are you sure about that? And Sasuke tries to look behind him to see Naruto standing there with his eyes shining blue. And Sasuke is about to react, but Naruto swiftly chops him on the neck as Sasuke passes out. And after closing his eyes, Naruto's eyes just go back to normal as he's like, well, maybe you weren't that strong after all. I'll have to find someone else worthy of this DoJutsu, worthy to fight this DoJutsu, as he walks away. Now, we go over to Sasuke waking up in the hospital, saying, as he just punches the air. He's like, wait, where am I? As Iruka's like, well, Naruto knocked you out. As Sasuke's like, God damn it, as he smashes his fist onto the bed. He's like, why? How could he escape that fireball? I saw it hit him. As Iruka's just looking at his facial expression and understanding, and he's like, Naruto's a strong one. So are you. You both have a lot of... As Sasuke's like, shut up, I'm trying to think here. How? What is the source of Naruto's strength? And what happened to his eyes? And, he's just thinking about this, as he doesn't have an answer for it yet, but he'll learn. And basically, with that, we kind of just skip on to the continuation of the academy, where Naruto consistently continues to place higher than Sasuke in everything they do. As, sparring, Naruto wins. They do endurance tests, Naruto wins. Shuriken throwing, Naruto wins. And at this point, Sasuke was just like really, really angry and kind of at a state where it was like hopeless. It's almost like Sasuke just started seeing Naruto as another one of those huge obstacles, kind of like Itachi, that he kind of had to overcome to become stronger. And Naruto also just breezed through the academy, having no challenge at all. And we skip to the graduation exam, where Naruto gets called up to do a shadow clone jutsu and show Iruka a shadow clone jutsu and pass and become a genin. Naruto swiftly walks up as he's like, oh, okay, this will be simple, as he puts his hand signs together as he creates multiple mud clones. Now, not only can he do this because he's a lot more knowledgeable than in the original, but also because in that moment, he activated his DoJutsu. And using his DoJutsu heavily increases his chakra control, which did aid him with, performing the jutsu. As everyone is impressed, as they start clapping for Naruto, and Sasuke is just watching in the back, being like, I'll show you, I'm better than him. As, Sasuke obviously passes well, and they just move on. But before Naruto exits the building, he's like, "Hey, Iruka, would you mind if I challenged you to a match?" And Iruka's just like, "No, unfortunately, as much as I would like to fight you, I can't. There are rules in place saying that since I'm your sensei, I can't really, teacher, I can't really fight you, that there are rules for my job saying that, so I probably would get fired." As Naruto's like, "Why? That's just the dumbest rule in the entire world." And Naruto's like, "Yeah, I know, but it's just reasons." And Naruto's like, "You know what, never mind," as he walks off. The next day, Team 7 once again meets up at the academy to meet their Jonin sensei, as they learn that Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke will be in Team 7 with Kakashi sensei. And Sasuke's like, I'm with Naruto. Well, I guess that means I'll get more opportunities to prove that I'm stronger than him. And Naruto's like, this is a decent team. Except for Sakura, of course, but this is a decent team. And they end up waiting there for an hour for Kakashi to arrive. And eventually, when he does arrive, it's just everyone's like, "Wow, it took you this long to arrive." And Naruto is just like, "You know what, never mind. What are we supposed to do?" As Kakashi's like, "Whoa, calm down. It's just I got lost on the path of life." Anyway, because that's anyways isn't correct. Anyway, Kakashi told them to meet them on the roof, as everybody went up to the roof with Kakashi body flickering up there. Once everybody was there, Kakashi told everyone to introduce themselves. Now, Naruto gave the exact same introduction he did in the original, where he wanted to become Hokage and the greatest shinobi, he liked ramen, etc. Sakura, I'm not even gonna cover Sakura. Sakura's just like, I like a certain someone. I want to be, my goal is to be a certain someone's wife, just doing her entire thing. And Sasuke is also gonna be emo, saying he doesn't have any particular likes or dislikes, and his goal, or determination, as he puts it, is to kill a certain someone. The only difference to his goals are going to be that not only does he want to kill a certain someone, he also wants to surpass Naruto's strength. Now, he doesn't exactly say that, because even though he's kind of accepted this, he just doesn't want to admit out loud that Naruto's stronger than him. It's kind of he accepted the fact, but he almost doesn't want to talk about it, as if talking about it will make it true, and as if talking about it will make him weak, Sasuke stuff. And so he's just like, I want to surpass a certain someone, looking at Naruto. And Naruto's just like, yeah, I know, in his head. And Kakashi's like, yeah, you guys seem like an interesting team. Just meet me tomorrow at the field at 7 a.m. sharp. As Naruto's like, will you be there? As Kakashi says, yeah, of course I will. And Naruto says, will you be there on time? And as Kakashi's like, why do you ask so many questions? Just know that you have to be at the field tomorrow. And, down at the training grounds, we'll meet and we'll have our first thing as a team. As Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are like, okay, I guess. As Kakashi poofs into smoke, revealing that he was a shadow clone. And Naruto says, guys, it's fine. Arrive at least 30 minutes late. He won't be there. As everyone gives a quick nod and heads off. Okay, so last time we left off this story, Naruto and Team 7 were just heading off to the training grounds to do the bell test. Now, since Naruto told them to, everyone in Team 7 arrived at least 30 minutes late, with Naruto arriving 1 hour late. Around 15 minutes after Naruto arrived, Kakashi ended up arriving too, with, Sasuke and Sakura being like, yeah, Naruto was right. I mean, Kakashi came 1 hour and 15 minutes late. That's a lot. And they would be right, because Kakashi is always late to everything, and very late to everything at that. So anyways, everyone would be like, what took you so long? And Naruto just gave Sakura that look, being like, don't even bother asking. I mean, clearly you're not going to get a good answer. As Kakashi gave another one of his terrible excuses, and Team 7 was just like, yeah, as I expected. So after that, Kakashi just went ahead and Kakashi announced the rules of the bell test, saying how he had 2 bells, they had to get them, and the 2 people that got them would pass. Now Sakura would be like, hey, but that would mean only 2 of us pass and 1 of us fail, in her whole Sakura voice, with Kakashi being like, yeah, that's the point. And Naruto in his head would just be thinking, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense. It's probably that either all of us are gonna fail or all of us are gonna pass. But to be honest, it could actually be helpful for our team if, Sakura wasn't on our team. But yeah, I guess we can deal with her. And Kakashi was like, well, go. And everyone would go hide in the bushes. Now, Naruto would be like, so, it's about teamwork, right? Well, what would happen if I were to pass in the opposite way of intended? And that is when, Kakashi would be reading his book, and Naruto would pop out of the bushes, running straight at Kakashi. Kakashi would see him and be like, amateur, as he poofs into smoke as a shadow clone and appears behind Naruto. Now, sorry guys, I had to pause the recording, and this is actually me from like 3 days later, which is kind of funny, but anyways, I'm sorry. Anyways, back to the video. Kakashi went behind Naruto and immediately started attacking him, as Naruto got destroyed by Kakashi, if I'm being honest, and Kakashi, just with one swift final kick, sent him right back into the bushes where he came from. As Kakashi was like, well, that wasn't too hard, as Naruto would just walk right back out of the bushes, and Naruto would come back out of the bushes, and Kakashi's like, so you're back for more? As Naruto just runs in at Kakashi, and Kakashi is about to punch Naruto, but as right about when Kakashi's fist is about to connect with Naruto's face, Kakashi just notices that Naruto disappeared. What he saw was Naruto's after image, as he looks behind him and Naruto is standing there, walking away. And he's like, what did he just do? Did he phase through me? And why didn't he attack me? I mean, he literally phased behind me and then started walking away. Like, why didn't he kick me? What was the point of that move if he's just gonna waste his opportunity to attack me? As then he looks at his waist and sees that in that move, Naruto, while going past him, had actually managed to take the bells. And Kakashi's like, damn it, he took the bells. As Naruto smirks and turns around and says, yeah. As he throws one of the bells to Sasuke, keeping the other one for himself. He's like, well, I know this was about teamwork, Kakashi, but the rules are the rules. I did get the bells. As Kakashi is just like, fine, you pass. And with that, Kakashi is still bewildered at how Naruto was able to do that, but he's just like, well, it was probably just, he was lucky, he probably can't do that to me again. He was just lucky that one time. And after that, Team 7 becomes an official team, with them going on very simple missions such as catching cats, doing groceries, that sort of boring stuff. And, since these missions are so boring, eventually Team 7 gets bored of these boring missions. Pretty self-explanatory, right? And with that, they go to Hiruzen and ask him for a harder mission. Hiruzen, knowing that, they have Kakashi, Sasuke, they're a pretty strong team. They have Naruto, and he's like, yeah, you know what? Just take the C rank mission. Escort this bridge builder named Tazuna. And they're like, okay, yep, we can do that. And so the next day, they all meet up at the gate, meet up with Tazuna, and head out. So they're walking along the way, and Naruto has sort of always been suspicious of Tazuna. Naruto in this version being extremely smart, especially when he has his DoJutsu on, noticed that Tazuna seemed to be worried. In fact, a little too worried, because he was having a whole team of ninjas walk him back to the land of waves, and yet at the same time, he was still worrying, so Naruto just turned on his DoJutsu just in case, because he could tell that maybe something was coming. And also, sorry for any background noise, there's really not much I can do about it, so I do apologize if you hear any background noise. Back to the video. Naruto, having his DoJutsu on, is scanning the area, as suddenly he can see chakra coming out of a puddle up ahead. And seeing that, Naruto can immediately tell that puddle is a genjutsu, and there's somebody hiding in it. And Tazuna knew this would happen, and Naruto's like, well, yeah, that all makes sense now. So, as they're walking by the puddle, Naruto quickly turns around, throwing 2 kunais into the puddle. And this matches up perfectly with when the demon brothers jump out. So basically what happened was, the instant the demon brothers jumped out, Naruto literally landed the kunai on them perfectly, just stopping them mid-air and being able to easily get a hit on them and then tie them up. Now, after this, Kakashi tried to question them, but the demon brothers wouldn't budge, so Team 7 decided to just keep on going. After a while, a thick fog started rolling in, with Tazuna saying that this is normal. After all, this is the village hidden in the mist, so, you gotta expect some mist around here, right? Well, Naruto was having his suspicions that this fog was just a little bit too much, just a tad bit too much, which is why he turned on his DoJutsu, seeing all the chakra flowing through this mist and knowing now for sure that somebody was creating it. As he focused all of his attention forward, he sensed the blade coming flying at them as he yelled, "Duck!" and everybody ducked as a huge blade came up over their head and lodged itself into the tree behind them. Then, Zabuza himself landed on the blade, saying, well, look who it is. Kakashi Hatake." And Kakashi said, guys, leave him to me. I'll take him on. I'll show you what a true Jonin can do, or whatever he said in the original. As Kakashi and Zabuza started having their fight. And eventually, they kept exchanging blows, and Zabuza got an opening on Kakashi and was about to put him under his water prison jutsu, as right when he was about to do it, Naruto, who had been watching the entire fight, that came in out of literal nowhere and stabbed Zabuza's hand with his kunai, just Zabuza had extended his palm out to trap Kakashi in the water prison jutsu, but Naruto stabbed his kunai right into Zabuza's palm while dashing at him and went right by him, basically saving Kakashi. As Naruto said, well, Kakashi, looks like you needed some help. As Kakashi's like, okay, I got a bit cocky there. Now I'll go all out, as he lifts up his headband, revealing his Sharingan. And using his Sharingan, he absolutely destroys Zabuza, sending him flying into a tree with a water dragon jutsu. Now, Team 7 assumes that Zabuza is either dead or passed out, and this is when Haku, pretending to be a tracking ninja, comes in and takes Zabuza. At the moment, Kakashi doesn't have a lot of time to question this, because afterwards, he quickly passes out too, from chakra exhaustion and using his Sharingan too much. By the time Kakashi wakes up, they've already made it to Tasuna's house, and, there's a huge meal waiting for them, and Kakashi can walk, but, he needs some support, like some crutches or something like that. Also, guys, I'm sorry if the audio keeps cutting out. I am telling you, I am having so much trouble recording right now. I mean, I'm recording like 3 or 5 minutes at a time, which is kind of why the audio is cutting out and coming back in so much. But yeah, that's my explanation. This is the only way I can do this. But anyways, back to the what if. After Kakashi wakes up and they get some more rest, sleep, have another day pass by, let them rest and everything, then Kakashi decides to have them do chakra control training. And so what they do is Kakashi takes them out to a place, where there are some trees and a little pond. It's a nice and peaceful place. As he explains to them the job of, tree climbing, how you focus your chakra to your feet and you can climb the trees. Now, Naruto is the first one to be able to do this, since he already knows quite a bit about chakra control. And Kakashi, being impressed, says, okay, now try walking on water. As at first Naruto fails this, but then he activates his DoJutsu, which increases his chakra control by times 100, because all of his senses, abilities, and his chakra control in turn increases by quite a bit when he activates his DoJutsu, and manages to immediately start walking on water. As Kakashi's like, wow, second try. This kid really is a prodigy. And Sasuke spends the night trying to finally master tree wall climbing, and with that, the next day, they head out to help Tazuna finish building the bridge. And everyone's just trying to help build the bridge while an all too familiar fog starts coming in. Everyone's immediately like, Zabuza, he's back. And they would be correct. But this time, he's back with Haku. And Haku decides to take on Naruto and Sasuke, while Zabuza fights Kakashi. Now, in Haku and Naruto's fight, Haku creates his ice mirrors all around Sasuke and Naruto, with both of them being trapped inside the ice mirrors. Now, Naruto immediately activates his DoJutsu, going into a state where he can completely see Haku's movement through the mirrors, and also dodge all of the Senbon, while also helping Sasuke dodge the Senbon, and he can reach that sort of speed. Not only that, but his DoJutsu allows him to see weaknesses in the jutsu. So, looking around the mirrors, he analyzes them, seeing if there's any weakness. As then, he gets an idea, as he's like, okay, This will be hard, but if I time it right, I can hit it. As Naruto gets help from Sasuke, and both of them create a bunch of clones. As Haku at first is confused, saying, what will a bunch of clones do to aid you? As for like a good 30 seconds, all of the clones, especially of Naruto, just using their DoJutsu, keep analyzing Haku's movements over and over and over again. Haku moves from mirror to mirror and doing different stuff to see how Haku will react. Little does Haku know, this is all part of Naruto's plan, as he slowly, one by one, starts killing all of the clones that Naruto has created. And after Haku manages to do this, Naruto's like, finally, it's time to put my plan into motion. As Naruto dodges the last barrage of Senbon, as he's like, now, as he takes out a kunai, throwing it at incredible speeds, right at the perfect spot, predicting the moment like a couple milliseconds before Haku exits the mirror to move to the next one. And right as Haku's moving from mirror to mirror, Naruto manages to hit Haku straight in the shoulder as Haku falls to the ground, and Naruto does not miss this opportunity to immediately go and pin Haku down as Sasuke ties him up. After this, the ice mirrors start crumbling to the ground. Haku's like, damn it, how could he react? How could he predict I was gonna do that? And, with that, meanwhile, Kakashi manages to stab a Chidori through Zabuza's chest, and Haku and Zabuza get, dealt with. After this, Gato and his men show up, and they are literally so irrelevant that I'm not even gonna cover the entire battle. All I'm gonna say is Naruto and Kakashi literally destroy them, and Gato is dead now. And with that, Tazna finally finishes the bridge, and in honor of Naruto saving them all, they name it the Great Naruto Bridge. And with that, Team 7 heads back to the village. Anyways, last time we left off, Kakashi was just telling Team 7 about the Chunin exams. Now, of course, Team 7 hearing about this had no reason to, say no. So obviously, all of them said yes and said they would participate in the Chunin exams. Now, they all had a week to prepare, but Naruto really didn't need to because, he kind of has like a custom DoJutsu that makes him like really strong. So, I don't feel like he actually needs this 1 week to train because it's not going to do anything for him. So afterward, Naruto and Team 7 meet up, after the 1 week, and they kind of just meet up at the entrance to the building. Now, if you do hear background noise right now, I am very sorry, but there really isn't much I can do about the fact that there are literally ambulances outside my window, or fire trucks. I have no idea what they are, okay? If you hear them, I'm just gonna say I'm sorry. But back to the video. Anyways, they met up outside the entrance to the Chunin exams, and after walking in, all of them immediately noticed the Genjutsu being placed up by the people who are disguised as Genins. Naruto went up to them and said, hey, take down the Genjutsu. As they're like, one of the people were just like, yeah, why should we do that? And Naruto is like, Naruto immediately activates his DoJutsu as the person is about to go at him. Naruto basically, from his perspective, teleports behind him and holds a kunai to his neck as he says, take the Genjutsu down. As he's like, okay, as he takes it down, and he's like, wow, these batch of kids, there are a lot of them this year. This is a pretty good collection of Genin. Like, a lot of these people might pass. He's pretty strong, not gonna lie. And so Naruto and Team 7 went upstairs, where they met Neji and Rock Lee and Tenten. Now, just like in the original, Rock Lee did end up challenging Naruto and Sasuke to a fight, but Naruto just rejected, saying that, if Rock Lee really was worth their time and they should actually fight, then Rock Lee would make it to the final part of the exam where, they would be able to fight each other. But if he didn't end up making it there, then he wasn't worth his time. And Rock Lee, hearing that, was just like, I will make it. I will fight you. And we kind of know Gaara's gonna beat him, but that's not fair though. Rock Lee did do really well, and it's still one of the best fights in the entire Naruto series, even though Rock Lee lost. Back to the point, Naruto and the rest of Team 7 decide to go into the room where they'll be taking the first part of the Chunin exams, also known as the written portion. Now, Ibiki walks into the room and introduces what the exam is, how it's gonna work, just saying how, this is a test. Get to work. And he just hands out the papers, and everybody gets to working, I guess. Now, Naruto can only answer about one of the questions on his own, but then he just uses his DoJutsu and literally just uses that to do something very similar to the Sharingan, and just kind of uses his DoJutsu to sort of copy what other people are writing down and just get the answers that way. And Naruto's DoJutsu can't make him literally copy the exact pencil movements like Sasuke's does. But what he can do is look at the hand movements that everybody in front of him is doing and translate those hand movements into what that person would be writing down. So he can just tell what they're writing down from their hand movements, and then he can write that down instead of copying their hand movements and seeing what that writes down. If that doesn't make sense, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that it doesn't work exactly like the Sharingan. But yeah, after that, Naruto gets all of the questions, and Ibiki announces that, guess what? Well, there's actually a 10th question, and all of these previous questions were kind of just they didn't even mean anything. And he explains how the 10th question would work, how if you get it wrong, you're barred from ever taking the exams again. And Naruto and the rest of Team 7 obviously decide to stay, while some of the other contestants decide that it's not worth the risk and they'd rather just take it again next year. With that, Ibiki announces, well, guess what? The final and 10th question was actually it doesn't exist. Yeah, you got fooled. I was just testing if you were determined enough to. He does whatever he does in the original, and everyone's like, okay. And with that, they pass. And this is when Anko breaks in through the window, jumping in and being like, okay, people, meet me at the Forest of Death, where we will have the second part of the Chunin exams. And so Ibiki's just shaking his head, being like, Anko, how many times do I have? And he's just trying to say that, but Anko's like, listen, you stop talking. Your part is done now. It's time for my part. So you can go home and get some rest or whatever. But you guys, you're coming with me to the Forest of Death. And, well, they don't have much of a choice, really. So everyone decides to follow Anko to the Forest of Death, where she explains that in this part of the exam, you will get a scroll, and you have to get the other opposite scroll of what you have. So you gotta get the 2 scrolls, and then you can go to the center building and pass the exam. Also, killing is allowed, so certain people might end up dying. Strong ones will probably pass, but remember, there are also weak ones among us, as she throws a kunai at Naruto, expecting him to, kind of get cut on the cheek, aiming for his cheek. And Naruto, just not even flinching, just activates his DoJutsu and perfectly puts his finger. Oh no, that's gonna sound too sus. Okay, he basically, you know how there's like a hole at the bottom of the kunai, a circular hole, like there's the tip of the kunai, and then at the bottom there's like a circular hole. Right as the kunai was coming in his direction, Naruto activated his DoJutsu and used the incredible precision that his DoJutsu allows him to use to poke his finger through the hole. Don't take that out of context. And just catch the kunai midair. Now, this surprised Anko, and as she's like, never mind, as she takes back her kunai and says, okay, well, just sign this legal contract saying that it doesn't matter if you die, and then get ready by the gates. As everyone's like, okay, I guess, as they sign the contracts, and everyone heads off to their gates. And they're just waiting for the signal to go, as they can hear Anko as she screams, everybody go, 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 as everyone rushes in to the Forest of Death. Now, they just keep running, and Naruto immediately activates his DoJutsu, scouting the area for any possible chakra signatures or anyone in their nearby sort of area, as he's like, okay, well, there's one team about 1 kilometer ahead. We can go there. That's probably the easiest option. As the team agrees, and they start heading off that way. And it doesn't take them long before they're basically at their target already. Remember, 1 kilometer really isn't a lot. I mean, imagine doing a 100-meter dash 10 times, but then also being a shinobi who can run at superhuman speeds. So it actually doesn't take a long time, right? It's just a pretty small distance for someone like Naruto. And they're about to reach their targets, as suddenly Naruto feels another presence, one a lot bigger than all 3 of the people on the team they're chasing combined. And Naruto knows that this person is going to be danger, as suddenly in front of them comes up Orochimaru. Now, Orochimaru is, going after Sasuke's DoJutsu, but then after just taking a glance at Naruto's eyes, Orochimaru just says, oh, so I see you have one too. You know what? Sasuke might be my main option, but I feel like you might be just as strong. As Orochimaru is definitely intrigued by this DoJutsu, as he immediately rushes in at Naruto. But Naruto is fast, and by fast, I mean he's very fast, as he rushes at blinding speeds towards Orochimaru, doing the perfect moves at the perfect times to exactly counter anything he's doing, and manages to find the perfect moment to exactly punch Orochimaru in the gut, sending him flying backwards. Now, Naruto doesn't waste this opportunity opportunity like any other anime character would, but instead, while Orochimaru is flying in the air, Naruto dashes behind him as he does something incredibly similar to the Leaf Hurricane, just without, the Rock Lee, like, bandages or whatever they're called. So he does that as he goes behind Orochimaru and literally kicks him, like, straight into the ground. And Orochimaru's like, interesting. As he immediately attempts to put everyone in under a genjutsu, as Sasuke and Sakura immediately feel themselves unable to move. And they all just stand stunned in place as Sasuke stabs himself in the knee to overcome the fear with pain and is able to move again as he also carries Sakura to safety. But Naruto, he isn't affected. His DoJutsu naturally protects him from nearly all genjutsus, as Orochimaru is impressed. And he comes in, rushing in at Naruto again, going in again and again and again. And Orochimaru starts to realize that he is not going to win against Naruto. He's just incredibly smart and efficient, and his movements he's playing defensively in a way that it's very unlikely for Orochimaru to be able to win this battle, especially without causing enough of a commotion that a bunch of Jonin show up to try and fight him as well. So Orochimaru decides to do the only sensible thing possible: put the curse mark and go away. As Orochimaru waits for the perfect opportunity, as finally he manages to extend his neck and bite into Naruto. Naruto tries to escape, but by that point it's too late, and Orochimaru manages to bite down on Naruto's neck, while at the same time Naruto uses his kunai to literally cut off Orochimaru's neck. Now, this basically kills this body of Orochimaru, although just being killed by, having his neck cut off instead of, some other way, this is pretty easy for Orochimaru to come back from. And because of that, he'll probably come back by the time the Konoha crush happens, but I might change that, so don't be surprised if that doesn't happen. But Naruto ends up killing Orochimaru, but Orochimaru also ends up placing a curse mark on Naruto, although it's a weakened version, since Orochimaru wasn't able to completely add it in. But at the same time, even this weakened curse mark slowly tries to, take over Naruto's body, just kind of taking over Naruto's consciousness. I'm not even gonna try to say that. But as he tries to do that, it gets interfered by something, as suddenly the curse mark starts bubbling as it slowly disintegrates. Because what happened is Naruto and Kurama's chakra were basically able to repel and get rid of the influence of the curse mark, basically ejecting its dark chakra from Naruto's body. And with that, all of Orochimaru's efforts basically became pointless. And with that, Naruto took Orochimaru's scroll and ended up going to the finish line with Team 7 passing. After this, that one proctor that continues to cough all the time for practically no reason announces that since too many people passed, they're going to have preliminary rounds, and explains how in the preliminaries they are going to have to fight the others, and just they're going to have to fight each other, and the loser is eliminated and the winners pass. Now, every fight here goes the exact same as canon, basically, with the only actual changes being Sasuke's fight and Naruto's fight. Sasuke still wins with because, he doesn't even have this curse mark limiting him now. So he absolutely destroys, I think his name is Jiraiya. I don't know, that guy who can steal chakra. So Sasuke easily wins. Now, Naruto's match changes a lot from the original, because in the original, it was this really high intensity, very high difficulty match between Kiba and Naruto trying to prove himself. This is just Naruto. Welcome to Naruto absolutely destroys Kiba, where Kiba comes onto the area being like, yeah, this is my chance to prove myself. I'll show I'm stronger than Naruto. Thinking that, being like, oh, now I'll prove myself to everyone. But he immediately goes in with a fang over fang right at Naruto. And in the first one, Naruto just uses his DoJutsu to analyze the attack, looking at how it works, and basically dodging out of the way. As Kiba's like, how did you dodge it? As Naruto says, well, I noticed a fatal weakness in your attack. I was able to exploit it to simply dodge your attack. As Kiba gets mad and rushes in once again with fang over fang at Naruto. And Naruto says, you want me to prove my point? Well, okay then. As he dashes in at the fang over fang, as all he does is he shoots a lightning-based jutsu at the perfect place inside of the jutsu, at its weak point, as Kiba and Orochimaru, Kiba and Akamaru just fall to the ground, having their jutsu that they have perfected over 12 years at this point. I think that's how old they are, being easily destroyed by a single precise movement. As Naruto stands there and says, well, that jutsu could be improved, but for now, I must win this match. So, here, as Naruto holds a kunai to his Kiba's neck, as he says, surrender, or I'll cut you. Cut you with this kunai. I literally just messed up that line, but Kiba, not wanting to die, is like, yeah, I surrender. And with that, Naruto's like, okay, well, that was easy, as he hops back onto the stage. All of the other matches go the exact same, and the proctor says that they have actually now 1 month to get ready and train for the final part of the Chunin exams. Now, this is when Naruto decides to, go get some time in the hot springs, because, he feels like he needs a bit of rest, especially after that fight with Orochimaru, so he decides to go to the hot springs. And there he sees Jiraiya. Now, the whole encounter happens where Naruto's like, what are you doing peeking into the hot springs like that? And Jiraiya's like doing research, and they have their whole conversation where Jiraiya's like, I'm the Toad Sage, and Naruto's like, they have that conversation. I'm not gonna go over it. I'm just not, okay? Deal with it. And after all of that happens, basically, Jiraiya recognizes this to be Naruto, his Minato's son. And he's like, yeah, you want me to train you? As Naruto's like, well, I mean, you are one of the legendary Sanins, I don't know, I guess. And Naruto being a lot more mature, I guess, in this what if, Jiraiya actually ends up telling him about who he is, his parents, and, all of that stuff. As Naruto's like, oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. That's good to know. And Jiraiya trains Naruto for this 1 month, which I won't really go over, because Naruto breezes past this training, right? He learns the Rasengan, the Toad Summoning Jutsu, and I think that's all, actually. And he learns it so fast because his DoJutsu makes him easily learn jutsus. Like, I swear, using this DoJutsu, his chakra control is goes times 10, right? Or times 100, I don't know, something like that. So he can easily master jutsus, right? And anyways, by this point, Naruto is ready for the final part of the Chunin exams. Now, last time we left off, Naruto was just heading to the final stage of the Chunin exams. We just skipped the scene where Naruto is inside the arena and Neji and Naruto are called up to fight for the first match. Now, Neji does give his entire speech, like right off the bat. He's like, I'm destined to win this match. I'm obviously gonna win. This match, the outcome of this match was determined before it even started. He does that entire thing, but Naruto really just doesn't care. As Naruto says, "Are you gonna fight me or are y'all talk?" As Neji gets mad, saying, "Why you? I'll show you the power of the Hyuga clan." And Naruto says, "Okay, well, go for it." As Neji rushes at Naruto and goes in straight for the gentle fist technique, striking straight at Naruto. But his hand goes through Naruto as he realizes that by the time he had reached Naruto, all that was left of him was an afterimage. As Naruto, what seemed to be body flickered behind Neji, chopping him on the neck as Neji just got knocked unconscious in like 3 seconds of the match starting. This shocked absolutely everyone, and Naruto just won his match and went back up to the stands. After this, all the other matches went the same, with Shikamaru doing his whole 1 million IQ thing against Amari and then giving up, and all the other matches also just all went the same all the way until the match of Gaara versus Sasuke. Now, they both went up to the arena as the proctor told them to start. And Sasuke was the first one to rush in, copying what had been Rock Lee's movements in the preliminaries, because he used the Sharingan to just copy what he was doing. And this time he copied it even better because he didn't get the information secondhand from Kakashi. He was there watching the entire fight with his own Sharingan, which just gave him a huge advantage. So, with his two Tomoe Sharingan active, he literally just continuously attacked Gaara from all directions. And this went on until Gaara made his ultimate defense, and Sasuke decided the only way he could penetrate this was to use the Chidori. So, with that, he scaled the wall to get momentum as he activated his Chidori and ran down, stabbing the Chidori straight through the sand dome, stabbing it into Gaara's heart. Now, you guys might be like, wait, isn't it his shoulder? No. This Sasuke managed to hit Gaara straight in the heart, nearly killing him, if, of course, he was a normal human. But as we all know, Gaara is a Jinchuriki. So, after Gaara basically gets knocked unconscious and is on the brink of death, having his heart been stabbed by a Chidori, well, not completely through the heart, but a good portion, like pretty close to the heart, Shukaku takes over Gaara's body as he starts rampaging in the center of the entire area. As, in a panic, the invading Sand Shinobi are like, well, I guess we have to do it now. This wasn't exactly according to plan, but let's just do it. As Naruto senses the Genjutsu falling on everyone, as he activates his DoJutsu to basically become immune to it, because as you guys know, or I said earlier, his DoJutsu makes him immune to most of the simpler Genjutsus. And seeing this, he immediately went up, got some high ground, and started scanning the area, seeing Kakashi and Guy fighting the invading shinobi, Sasuke still trying to fight Gaara with Sakura coming in to aid him, and just watching Hiruzen and Orochimaru go into the just go after each other, as he creates approximately 50 clones, with all 50 of them going after Hiruzen, while that one version of himself stays near Gaara, as the 50 clones follow Hiruzen with Orochimaru, but get eliminated pretty quickly, as meanwhile Naruto is still fighting Shukaku, as he summons Gamabunta to combat the tailed beast, as they have an entire battle, but this time, instead of being in the forest, they're here in the arena, which by the end of this fight, they have completely destroyed the arena and all of the surrounding houses and buildings. Just let me tell you, that was a lot of destruction there. And after rampaging around for a while, Gamabunta and Naruto used a combined transformation to turn Gamabunta, transform into Ninetales temporarily so he could get the claws and grab onto Shukaku, as Naruto leaped off his head, going straight at Gaara, headbutting him, and, well, waking him up, as, he gives him his whole talk no jutsu speech, and Gaara's on the good side now, talk no jutsu, yep. Villain turns into good guy. 5 seconds. Talk no jutsu, guys. Come on. You guys know it's the best move in the entire Naruto-verse. Sorry, guys. This is me from literally the next day because, sorry. I'm adjusting my mic if that made some noise. Anyways, this is me from the next day because I genuinely don't, I keep running out of time. There's not much time I have to record these videos, but I'm trying my best here. But anyways, back to the video. Basically, since I came back, we were just when Naruto talk no jutsu Gaara back to and turn him into a good guy, basically, and then he decided to go check up on his shadow clones, realizing that all of the shadow clones had already been taken care of, and, well, actually most of them, and the rest of them had been trapped outside of the barrier border thingy that Orochimaru had created between Hiruzen himself and Hiruzen and himself were inside the border while everyone else was stuck outside of it. And Naruto, realizing this, immediately ran straight towards the area where Hiruzen and Orochimaru were having their fight. As Naruto arrived there, and it was too late. Hiruzen used the Reaper Death Seal, and he had barely been able to seal away Orochimaru's arms at the cost of his life. And Naruto, seeing Hiruzen die, just realized that he had stood here, unable to do anything to save Hiruzen's life, and he had just died before his eyes, as he watched Hiruzen's body just go lifeless. As Orochimaru said, "Damn it, Hiruzen, he got my arms, but at least the job is done. You're dead now. Come on, Sound 4, let's go." As Naruto watched as Orochimaru and the Sound 4 left. But Naruto wasn't gonna let this happen, as him and the Anbu members who had been watching the fight immediately ran in at Orochimaru and the Anbu members. Not the Anbu members, but the Sound 4. Naruto immediately decapitated the first member of the Sound 4 in a blind rage, going at speeds that were, although slower than what it would be if he had his DoJutsu on, he felt faster than usual. is he starts shouting at Orochimaru, saying, I'll kill you for what you've done, as suddenly a red aura would start to form around Naruto, as a cloak, a bubbly orange reddish cloak, would form around him with one tail, as Naruto, using this power, would immediately go ahead and take out another one of the Sound 4, with the Anbu members taking care of the other two. And with that, all of their attentions would turn to Orochimaru, who at this point was running away. But Naruto, using his one-tail's cloak, immediately caught up to him and started clawing him and hitting him, like completely comboing Orochimaru. But Orochimaru isn't weak, as he sort of started to, after getting used to the original shock of having Naruto land that first blow, he started countering his moves. But at the same time, the Anbu members came in and started attacking Orochimaru, as Orochimaru realized that he wasn't winning this fight, as he had to desummon himself, like reverse summon himself, and get himself out of there. With that, Orochimaru was gone, and Naruto collapsed to the ground, passed out, after accessing the Nine Tails power for the first time at this point. Afterward, he woke up, and the instant he woke up, he saw Jiraiya standing over him, as he said, "Come on, get up. We've got a mission to go on." As Naruto would wonder what's going on, Jiraiya would say, "The Hokage died, and we can't just stay without a Hokage. We need to have someone to be the Hokage of this village, and I know just the person, so we were sent on a mission to find her. Well, at least I was, but I know that if you come along, this mission will be a lot faster." As Naruto says, "Yeah, I guess you're right." As he thinks back to Hiruzen and his death, he sort of frowns, but realizes that there's no point in being sad about the past, as afterwards, they head off on the trip. Now, it doesn't take them long, because they sprint, like full-on sprint, all the way to the place where Tsunade is potentially staying at. And instead of in the original, just staying at a hotel area, walking to the place first, staying at a hotel area, and meeting Itachi, sleeping, walking some more, doing all that stuff. No. It's like Naruto and Jiraiya are pretty powerful and durable and can run for long amounts of time, so they went full speed, just no rest, and they went to a approximate area where Tsunade might be, as they started questioning, asking people to see maybe where Tsunade was. And eventually, one person managed to tell them some information of the general city that Tsunade was in. Now, hearing this information, Jiraiya and Naruto only sped up, as they wasted literally no time heading to that village really, really quickly. And they actually searched around the area for a long time, but, didn't find too much, as by then it was already nighttime, so they decided that, they would just go to a bar, get something to eat, and then maybe they'll continue searching and asking questions to see, maybe Tsunade was somewhere else now. As they sat in the bar and they started, eating some food, as they heard a woman, making a lot of noise in the back. As it got to the point where Jiraiya literally got up from his seat and walked up to that table, being like, "Can you quiet down, please?" As he looked at the person and saw Tsunade. As Jiraiya was like, "Wait, Tsunade?" As Tsunade looked up at Jiraiya and was like, "Jiraiya, what are you doing here?" as Jiraiya looked at him and her as he explained everything. How, Hiruzen had died, and, they were here to, make her the new Hokage. And, basically, obviously, Tsunade declined, doing the entire thing about how the role of Hokage is, terrible, and, just talking trash about all the previous Hokage. And Naruto, who had just joined in on the conversation, was like, wait, you did not just disrespect the Hokage like that. As Tsunade was like, yeah, and who are you? What are you gonna do about it? As Naruto was like, oh, no. As, he gave a speech about how the Hokage gave his life to save the village and it's an honorable role. As Tsunade just has enough of it, as she's like, you know what, let's take this outside. How about this? If you land a single hit on me, I'll come back to the village, but if you can't, I'm staying here. As Naruto's like, that's a deal. As they both go outside and they get into their positions, as Jiraiya just has a small smirk on his face. And Tsunade's just like, okay, let's start. And Naruto's like, no, you can go first. As Tsunade gets really mad at this, she's like, as she literally runs in at Naruto saying, who do you think you are? And Naruto is actually shocked by her speed, although it is heavily slowed down because, first of all, she's not at full power. Second of all, she's very tired and drunk and in a terrible mood. So Naruto, after activating his DoJutsu, immediately is able to dodge out of the way and counter, blocking the blow and nearly landing a hit on Tsunade. As Tsunade just says, what was that? And Naruto says, so now you understand, do you? As Naruto starts weaving hand signs as a huge amount of rubble starts being created as the floor starts breaking apart and turns into something of a rock tsunami as it crashes into Tsunade. But us knowing Tsunade full well, she just punches through this rock tsunami as she's like, if you think that would beat me. As Naruto's like, no, that wasn't my plan. As Tsunade stands there, and she's like, well then what was? And Naruto starts activating the Rasengan in his hand. As Tsunade's like, wait, is that the fourth Hokage's jutsu? As Naruto runs straight in at Tsunade. As Tsunade realizes that she'll have to use her full power to counter this. And she does. She manages to muster up a huge portion of her power, punching the ground, creating an earthquake-level impact and creating a huge hole under Naruto. As this trips Naruto, but Naruto still goes flying at Tsunade, but Tsunade barely manages to block Naruto, stopping his Rasengan. But Tsunade may have been able to stop one of the Rasengans, but she didn't see the other one coming. Because while Naruto threw that rock jutsu at her, he also created a clone to go behind Tsunade, and then distracted Tsunade with his own Rasengan, while his clone could come up from behind Tsunade and slam the Rasengan into her back. As with that, Tsunade got knocked out. And by the time she woke up, she was already back in the village. She's like, where am I? As Naruto says, you lost the fight. By a lot as well. As Tsunade says, damn it. I underestimated you. And Naruto says, yes, you did. And you are also now Hokage. And honestly, I don't have too much to say. Tsunade becomes the Hokage, even if she doesn't want to, because she did make a deal. And with that, Jiraiya and Naruto go off on their 3-year training thingy, right? And the 3-year time skip, right? And during this time skip, Naruto learns a lot of things, because remember, Naruto using his DoJutsu is extremely OP, and it has incredible chakra control and can master jutsu very quickly. Just by watching it a couple of times, he can understand how it works and perform it himself. So Naruto, it really doesn't take him a lot of time, as he learns how to use the Rasen Shuriken and also masters Sage Mode, as at this point Naruto is already very OP. But not only this, but he also starts training with Kurama, as he unlocks, he can use up to like 3 of the tails without getting too much Nine Tails influence. And if he activates his DoJutsu and completely uses his DoJutsu's calm, like his DoJutsu and Kurama are like 2 opposite forces. One very calm and collected and thinking a lot, while Kurama mode is just like very a lot of emotions, just brute force sort of, no thinking, just straight up, that sort of thing. So they're like exact opposites. So while using his DoJutsu, he can actually access like 5 tails of Kurama's chakra with just a small amount of influence, which is really OP. So after this time skip, Naruto finally heads back to the village, as quickly he learns about the Akatsuki, as he hears about how Deidara and Sasori were capturing Gaara. And you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this for not just time reasons, but because there's really no point, because it's just gonna be so easy for him, as he just goes to the Sand Village and easily destroys both Deidara and Sasori, because he is way stronger than both of them combined, like times 2 at this point. So that is done very quickly, and Gaara isn't even dead when they arrive, so no sacrifices have to be made to revive Gaara or anything. Naruto just arrives there so quickly, like literally leaves Kakashi and Sakura behind and goes full speed, right? And literally just takes care of everything himself. Now, the Akatsuki, hearing about Naruto's incredible strength and achievements, immediately decide that they have to deal with Naruto before he becomes even stronger and just becomes something that is literally gonna ruin all of their plans. So they decide that all of them will simultaneously attack the Leaf Village and try to both eliminate Naruto and also get the Nine Tails. Now, approximately like 5 days after Naruto has returned from the Gaara rescue mission, he's just enjoying his ramen, as he hears a huge explosion. This being the almighty push being performed by none other than Pain, the Diva Path, to be more precise, as he immediately rushes out to see all of the Akatsuki members. Now, Kakashi, Sasuke, who has not left the village because, remember, the Sand Four are dead, 1. Orochimaru is not currently in a state where, just for many reasons, Sasuke hasn't left the village, and there's Sakura, Tsunade, so they have a pretty strong team. As Naruto immediately turns on Sage Mode and his DoJutsu, combining them to go ahead and just straight up destroy some of the weaker characters, as mostly the only people left now are Hidan, who is basically immortal, so Shikamaru, he gives Hidan to Shikamaru, as Shikamaru does exactly what he did to Hidan as in the original, basically beating him that way, while Naruto handles the paths of Pain. Now, in the original, Naruto was able to use Sage Mode to beat all paths of pain, but in this what if, he has Sage Mode plus a custom DoJutsu, which makes him way stronger than them. So although he does have a little bit of difficulty, at least beating the Diva path, he does end up killing all of the paths of pain. And Konan, because Kakashi and Sasuke end up dealing with Konan, I guess. I don't know. Them. And now the only person left is Obito, as he's like, well, that was unexpected, and says, I guess I'll have to deal with you all myself, as Naruto immediately rushes at Obito at such blinding speeds that not even Obito can process them fast enough to activate Kamui, as Naruto punches him in the gut so hard that it kind of injures Obito, reducing his speed, at least by a little bit. And Obito, after that, decides to, now he's prepared, so he starts using Kamui as Naruto attacks. And eventually, after fighting Obito cluelessly for approximately 10 minutes, Naruto, using his analysis powers that he has with his DoJutsu, and also Kakashi finally finding out that his Kamui dimension and Obito's sort of disappearing thing seem to link up, as using this, Naruto activates up to 5 tails of his 9 tails cloak, and this time rushes in at Obito again, going with a huge Rasengan enhanced by the power of his custom DoJutsu and his 9 tails chakra. So if you get hit by this Rasengan, you are literally dead, as Obito barely has any time to react at all, as he barely activates Kamui in time. But little does he know, at the same time, Kakashi uses Kamui on Naruto's Rasengan, as it completely obliterates Obito. Like, Obito is dead, disintegrated, gone, like atomic level, And with that, Naruto ends up defeating the Akatsuki, and the end. Oh my god, what a climactic ending. I know, right? But I don't know what to say. Naruto heads on to become the Hokage of the Leaf Village, eventually befriending Kurama and unlocking KCM 2, and Naruto becomes the strongest shinobi ever. And yeah, if you did enjoy this what if, please subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. It just means a crazy lot to me. And yeah, with that, see you guys next time, and goodbye.